Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Unmuted, an Empowerment Podcast. I'm your host, Melody Marquez. I've spent years as a life coach, a mindfulness educator, and a counselor to many students. And if there's one thing I've learned, is that our greatest struggles often grow in the places where we've been forced to stay silent. We've been muted by cultural expectations, by family rules, and by the societal pressure to be the model minority, to be perfect, quiet, and high achieving. Unmuted is a space where we break those silences. It's a bridge between clinical expertise and lived experience. My goal for this show is simple: empowerment. I want to help you find the voice that's been buried under years of shoulds and musts. Because this is our first episode, I wanted to start with something that hits close to home for me and for so many people in the Asian community. February is Eating Disorder Awareness Month, and this year's theme is Everybody Belongs. But for the Filipino community, belonging has historically been a very complicated word. Today, we're going to talk about why. So let's start in the heart of the Filipino home, the kitchen. We are a culture that expresses love through food. We often say, kain na tayo, or kumain ka pa. And sometimes kain na tayo is a greeting. It's like an invitation to belong. But as many of us know, that invitation often comes with a side of criticism. There's a psychological concept to work with called the double bind. It's a situation where you receive two conflicting messages, and no matter which one you follow, you lose. In a Filipino household, the double bind looks like this. You are pressured to eat. Oh, don't be shy. Have a third helping, or put some more rice on your plate. It's okay. But in the same breath, you are criticized for the way your body looks. You're often told that you're getting healthy, or you're getting healthier. Tumataba ka na. You've let yourself go. This creates a traumatic relationship with nourishment. We learn to use food to please our elders, but we learn to use restriction or shame to please their beauty standards. Today, we are unmuting that paradox. We are acknowledging that food can be a love language and a source of pain at the same exact time. As a woman of color and someone deeply embedded in the Filipino experience, I see how colonial history still lives in our mirrors. For centuries, Western beauty standards have told us that beautiful means petite, light skinned, and narrow framed, something that I'm absolutely not. We have internalized a version of ourselves that doesn't actually exist in our DNA. When we don't fit that mold, hiya or shame kicks in. Hiya is a Western problem or a luxury we don't have the right to feel. We think about our parents or grandparents who faced food insecurity, and we feel a deep guilt for having a complicated relationship with food. But unmuting means being honest. Eating disorders don't discriminate based on your family's history of survival. In fact, many eating disorders in our community are a response to that survival. They are a way to exert control in a world that feels culturally or colonially oppressive. If you don't see yourself in the typical recovery ads, it doesn't mean you aren't struggling. It means the industry needs to catch up to us. So, how do we move toward empowerment? It starts with the unmuted boundary. Healing in a collective culture like ours is hard because we don't want to cause disruption. But your health is worth the disruption. When a tita makes a comment about your weight this month, I want you to practice a new response. You don't have to be disrespectful to be firm. You can say, Tita, I value our relationship, but I am practicing a new way of talking about my body, and I would love for you to support me in that. As a matter of fact, I had a similar conversation with my own father the last time I was there about 3 years ago. I had to tell him to stop calling me his fat little girl because it's not nice. It doesn't make me feel good and it's not funny. And ever since then, I have not heard him call me that. This is how we begin intergenerational healing. We are the generation that says the cycle of body shaming stops with me. We are the ones who teach our children that their worth is not measured by the size of their waist or the light on the scale. We are redefining food as something that sustains us, not something that defines our goodness as a daughter or son. As we wrap up this first episode of Unmuted, I want to leave you with a thought. Your body has been a home for your soul since the day you were born. It has carried the stories of your ancestors and has survived everything you've been through. It deserves more than your criticism. It deserves your protection. If you're ready to dive deeper into these emotions, I invite you to check out my workbook, The Response Blueprint. It's designed specifically to help you process these kinds of cultural and emotional triggers. You can find it on Amazon.com. Thank you so much for joining me for the premiere of Unmuted. Remember, you don't have to have it all figured out to start speaking up. I'll see you in the next episode.